up to my standards and or as well as I would have liked. Being back in Boston, there's such a level of desire that I have inside of me to play well and wanted to be there for my teammates. So as a competitor, it's frustrating, but I don't want to let that seep in or spill over to any other decisions I have to make there as a player, and continue to feed my teammates' confidence. I have been down 0-2 before, lost a series, won a series. So I know what it takes, and also understanding, how to prepare for something like that mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. But first, was just respecting your opponent, and then most importantly, just putting your best foot forward when we go out there, man. It's as simple as that.
Dub, so here we are. Um, this was expected for me. I thought it would be possible that the Mavericks would steal one game, but Boston Celtics are one of the best teams in the league. It's very tough to go into Boston and win a basketball game, much less a playoff game, much less a finals game. The Mavericks have looked out of sorts. Luka Doncic has showed up and played well, but the Robin to his Batman, Kyrie Irving, has struggled going back to Boston and playing in front of a very tumultuous crowd. He hasn't quite showed up. Jalen Brown, Derrick White, Drew Holiday, whoever has been on him has been locking him up. I feel like Kyrie Irving hasn't felt comfortable to play his game of basketball. He's been very, um, he's deferred a lot to Luka. I even see him bringing the ball up court, looking to find Luka to give Luka the ball. And I think at this stage of Kyrie's career, again, Luka is the guy on the Mavericks, but you're the champion. You're the guy with the experience. You need to lead this team. Hopefully, when they get back to Dallas, we see more of that out of Kyrie. But it's going to be an uphill battle. What are your thoughts on the series so far, Doug?
I think when we recorded, I want to say about a week and a half ago, with our prediction about the series, I think you and I made a point that if Boston can be physical and really bang up, Kyrie a little bit, slow Luka down, contain him in a sense, then the Celtics could win this series, in six. And I think that's what it's looking like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to jinx us. We've been playing pretty well. I haven't said much about Boston. I haven't posted anything on my social media about Boston. But let me just continue to be quiet and just hope for the best. What I will say is that I love the defensive centric approach that my Celtics are taking. You sent me a clip earlier of Jalen Brown D'ing up Kyrie. Pause. And
Locking him up. I mean, he couldn't go anywhere.
couldn't
Actually,
do
turned the ball
He couldn't
over.
go left, he couldn't go right. He couldn't get crafty. Kyrie's a wizard. So with that being said, if they can continue to play defense at that level, I do not see Dallas winning 2 games. I don't see it.
I feel like I'm on the opposite end. I was stuttering there because I was figuring out how to say this, but I'm definitely on the opposite end. I see Dallas winning the next 2 games, and I think the key here is going to be the injury to Porzingis. Even though I saw a quote today that Porzingis said he'll die before he's not out there. I don't like to use those strong terms, but God, this is athletics. Guys use whatever. I think he was clearly a little gimpy there after he went down. I think that's going to be a critical X factor when we look at games 3 and 4. I don't think he'll be fully healthy. And even though Jason Tatum has done well, I think he's averaging 17 and 10 in the final so far. Something, don't quote me on that. Um, which is good. Like he's passing, he's getting the ball to the open guys. He's getting downhill, like I said, he needed to in order for them to win the game. I expected he would get downhill and go to the cup, get fouled, make baskets. He's getting downhill and kicking it out, and guys are hitting open shots, which works. A win is a win. However, I think going into Dallas, they're going to need him to score. They're going to need him to score more. And I think at some point, the abysmal 3-point shooting from the Boston Celtics is going to catch up to them. PJ Washington, Derrick Jones are going to knock down those corner threes when they get home. That's a fact. They're going to be able to do it. Their crowd is going to be behind them. And I think the series is going to change. I'm not saying change in terms of the Mavericks are going to take over. But, however, I did pick the Mavericks to win in 6. I think the Mavericks are going to gain momentum going home. Jason Tatum's going to need to score. He's still not scoring. The Celtics are not really playing efficient basketball. At one point in the game last night, I think they were like 8 for 35 from 3 or something crazy like that, right? Like we'll put the stats up here on the screen as we're talking, but they were not hitting 3-point shots. It just so happens that they were defending really well, something we thought they could do, and the Dallas Mavericks weren't hitting many shots. That's going to change in Dallas. I got the Dallas Mavericks winning game 3. I think we see a big game out of Kyrie. He's hearing the talking from everyone. He's still one of the best guards to ever pick up a basketball and play this game. Luka Doncic is going to do what Luka Doncic does. He's still going to put up 30 plus. I think he has a 40-point game in him come Wednesday. And I think the Mavericks are going to go back to Boston, and this series is going to be 2-2. And with that said, even though they're going home, I think that puts all the pressure in the world on Boston. Had game 2 had 5 more minutes or so left in the game, the Mavericks were on a run. They had got the lead down, and I think it was down to 5, and they were really within striking distance there near the end. Of course, it didn't work out. It just wasn't enough time. But going back to Boston, tied 2-2, will give the Mavericks a different level of confidence. I think they'll settle in. Some of those young guys like Derrick Lively, who have never played in the NBA Finals, will be comfortable at that point. They'll know what to expect going back into Boston. And if they can steal game 5 when they go to Boston, the Celtics could be facing elimination going back to Dallas for game 6. And again, I'm going to repeat, I think the Mavericks could potentially, if they handle business, it's a big if.
I had to laugh. I had to stop you laugh. Oh my gosh.
If was a fifth, right? This is a big if, right? But somebody's got to take the risk.
Hey.
I got money on the Mavericks winning this series, so I'm sticking with them.
Well, see, I take you as a person that likes to mitigate risk, not take risk. So for you to say that they could be at the brink of facing elimination, the up 2-0, you literally just said they have not been playing efficiently, and they're still finding ways to win. What that tells me, what I can apply is that
you're finding ways to win at home. If you can't win at home, you can't win a championship. So all the Celtics have done is what they're supposed to do. The Mavericks have got to be going to Dallas with some confidence to say, hey, we did better in game 2 than we did in game 1. And that's all you can ask.
That's all you can.
If I'm Jason Kidd,
I think Boston has more talent. I won't say this.
They do.
But Dallas will win game 3. They're not going to win any more games after game 3. And if they do,
you got Dallas losing 4-1?
I'm listening.
Listen, man. I had Boston in 6. But depending on what happens in game 4 is going to determine a lot. Shoot, Boston might beat them tomorrow. I got Mavericks because it's just, the travel. It was just Easter. That's not that far of a travel. I don't know, man. I'm gonna stay with 6, but man, that's crazy. That you crazy talk, JT. 2-2 going back to Boston. That's crazy talk, bro.
Listen, like I said, the only thing that Boston has done is what they're supposed to do. If I'm Jason Kidd, I've got a group of very young guys. There's only a couple veterans on this Dallas team. Luka is pretty much a veteran at this point. However, he hasn't played in the NBA Finals. If I'm going back to Dallas, I got the utmost confidence in my guys that we're going to be able to win this series at this point. I'm not worried about what happened in game one.
That's how you're supposed to feel.
Right. And what I'm telling you is if Dallas wins game 3 and 4,
Mm-hmm.
all the pressure in the world is on Boston.
Absolutely. That's not going to happen, though.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, Dub.
What's the wager, man?
Come next Monday, Dub. Not even next Monday, because they play on Wednesday and Friday. Yeah. So come Saturday, you and I are gonna have to sit down, and it's gonna be 2-2. And you know I ain't want to say I told you so. So I'm not gonna say anything at all.
Hey, listen.
I'm gonna just send you that. I'm gonna just send you the Stephen A. Smith meme.
Listen, luck and strategy has been on your side lately. You know what I'm talking about. But I will say
there's no luck. Skills pay the bills.
Luck and strategy.
Skills pay the bills.
So what is the wager if Dallas does not go up 2-2, does not even the series at 2-2?
You tell me how you feel about it.
Hey man, we can do push-ups. We can put a little $20 bill on it. You know, bragging rights, whatever. We don't do big boy bets over here, man.
Let's do both. Let's do both.
Push-ups and a $20 bill.
Let's put the gentleman's wager on it.
Okay.
And let's put the push-ups on it.
All right.
Let's do both. And let's make it happen. But the fans, they're gonna hear from you again when it's 2-2. And then, like I said, we go back to Boston. If the Mavs still game 5, I'm just gonna send you that Stephen A. Smith face again.
Hey man,
because it's gonna be trouble, trouble.
We'll see.
Listen, man, this is a great NBA Finals series. You got special players in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. The list goes on. Listen, we need you guys to engage with us on this. Let us know who you have winning the championship. Do you think there's still a chance for the Mavericks? Obviously, I do. Even if I'm the only one in that school of thought, that's cool with me. We need 3 things from you, though. You already know what it is. That Mercedes-Benz treatment. Give us that CLS, comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back with more from it in the arena.